Welcome to Critical Listening Song Breakdown. So I've filled out my paperwork. We're going to walk through that. I'm going to walk you through some of the things that I'm hearing when I listen to Christina Aguilera's Ain't No Other Man. So I've got my sheet filled out here, and let's talk about this. So this is not a song that I necessarily love, nor do I think it's important. It's just something that struck a nerve, and I kind of ignore most pop music, but every now and then songs happen and you hear them, and I heard this way later than 2006, even though it won the Grammy for Best Pop Vocal. I kind of ignore that kind of stuff. So, but once I started appreciating it and I dug in, that's the song that I have chosen. So this is from her album Back to Basics 2006, won Best Pop Vocal, so obviously other people thought it was pretty stellar too, but this is the song that I've broken apart. Produced by DJ Premier. So what I always get curious is then inquisitive, and the assignment doesn't necessarily take you down this road, but you should be kind of curious of maybe who are these people involved. So I'm going to play two snippets of DJ Premier's work with Gang Starr.
Big L, rest in peace.
So it starts with the sample, which I think is really interesting. Now, we got that really rich vinyl sounding drums and some things going on there.
Are you working? What kind of work do you do?
So again, we got that vocal sample starting. Definitely the similar style drums and production in this loop, in that it's real rich. It's not real crisp. It's got this some record scratches.
Hey, yo, I'm gonna be on TikTok. That's all my eyes can see.
So these are all going to be integral parts into bringing his style of production into Christina Aguilera. So maybe you're curious, maybe you know the song, so we're going to get there. You'll notice here in the songwriters, one of them is, where's the songwriters here? Harold Beatty. So Harold Beatty is the songwriter for the key sample in this song. So if I jump ahead, this Hippie Skippy Moonstrut is a really important song, and the song is really based around that. Again, so then I found that song pretty easy. This is a modern world we're in. Awesome drum production. Not yet. But super cool tune. There's our sample, right? So, okay, I'm going to fast forward a little bit, and here's where we really want to get to. Okay, so those are really integral parts of the song. So you'll notice that Harold Beatty is given songwriting credit. Because that sample is so integral, and they had to license the sample, some other things going on. All that should be really interesting. We'll cover it a lot more when we talk intellectual property in the music entrepreneurship class. But you should be curious about who all these different people are. And then if you were an American Idol fan, Cara was a judge on this. It was kind of 2.0. So now we have our people involved. We've got Christina Aguilera, pop superstar, huge vocal range. DJ Premier from Gang Starr, totally not related to Christina's world. We've got this really important sample, and then we start breaking the song down. So a couple things going on. So there's our samples that we talked about. Definitely the lead vocals are a huge part of this song. I love a couple different things, and I tell you, I love the tambourine. So let's give a listen to a little bit of Ain't No Other Man. So that's really where the song starts, right? So they give Christina the intro, but that "do your thing, honey," which comes from the sissy thing.
All right, sisters, do your thing, honey.
Oh, right there, man, right at the top. Right, so we go back to "Ain't No Other Man," and we've given her, some vocal exercises introducing her, but they give this introduction to Christina. Then we get to "Do your thing, honey." There's the sample. Okay, up to this point, so we've got the, go to my chart, right? What do we got going on in our first verse? And I'll get to my map, right? So we've got our kick snare loop. We definitely have our lead vocal, single vocal going on, and I'm going to get to this in a second. The horn sample, hugely integral. And there's kind of, in the horn, there's also a low synth thing that's kind of tucked in there, right? So thinking top and bottom spectrum, but it's pretty sparse up to that point. And then we're going to have this kind of new twist in the production happening. Now we got that double track coming in, so if I back up just a little bit. With that harmony, right? So double tracked harmony, now we got that left and right behind the lead vocal. Okay, awesome. So now we got really some cool hip-hop stuff going on. So in the one ear, we got the record scratch, and then we have this sample that happens in the right speaker. So this really cool bridge to the next part. Okay, so let's back up. So we got that distinction between her single in up front and then that double tracked behind her. So we've got clearly a lead vocal, but sometimes that double track is also the lead. So we got double tracked hard left and right with that lead vocal kind of poked in the middle. We're here in the pre-chorus. Okay, so let's take it to the chorus. We got the horns, lead vocal. Okay, so you notice if you can hear there's this roomy. Where's my roomy vocal? Male roomy vocal. So the third time through, you gotta listen really closely. There's this like background, like where it sounds like someone shouting like "Ain't no man" or something like that. I'm gonna back it up just a little bit. It sounds like traffic noise or his voice or something, but it's definitely deliberate and it's only there and it's in each chorus. I've never heard that before until I really dove in. It is awesome. Okay, let's fast forward a little bit to the second verse. Oh, so love the tambourine here. Listen to the tambourine where it starts and stops. Oh, that's hot, right? So pause, that mute button, start and stop. Instead of having the tambourine going the whole time, like definitely like creating some push and pull. It's not too bright, but it adds this really cool vibe going on. Okay, now the voice here. This is my favorite part of the double track voice. So we got this. You want this totally different melody. I'm not going to even try to sing. But double track, hard pan and left and right. So this distinction between the lead vocal, this double track. So we got wide, narrow, like focus, changing the emphasis. Oh, I forgot about the breaths. Okay, let's talk about that when it comes to the pre-chorus. There's our hip hop. Oh, I love that. Tambourine. Okay, so when we're listening for compression and things like that, so she's gonna do this whoa, and then this note, like it's gonna hit the wall of a limiter. Right, so that should be really loud, but if it was, we'd all be like hurting our ears, right? So they tuck it back in here like that, right? So listening for compression, it's awesome. Okay, so this has got this like wah guitar thing. It sounds like one of those Blue Man Group like pipe instruments, but I think it's a guitar. So now we got the chorus, so the second chorus. So we're adding some new elements in here that aren't in the other chorus, right? So you can see chorus And then we've got more things going on here, right? Dum, 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 dum. You hear that voice again? There it is. Ain't a man's true. It's awesome. Total, we call that earphone candy. Like you only hear, like that song's played on the radio, and I've heard this song hundreds of times, breaking it down in class, but in speakers, I've never noticed that. Now put it on earbuds and headphones and really dive in and make the chart. Awesome. So now we got, again, that hip-hop influence, adding another sample, the record scratch. Now we got a different tambourine sound than we did in the verse. A little wah guitar. So now we got new things going on. We've got this bass sound that really hits the basement that comes in that wasn't there quite before. And then we have these ooh vocals going on here also. So we've got a lot going on in the bridge. Horns, different tambourine sound. Shaker. Okay, so we talked about sort of that traditional, like breaking the bridge down to make the next part loud. So they give her that vehicle by letting Christina hold that long note, give her the kick drum, which is totally out of the way of her vocal, right? The kick drum down here in kind of the spectrum and the voice. What it is, drums and vocals, drums and vocals. So now we got the shaker going in one ear. There's that, ain't no man is true. Tambourine and the shaker. Oh, it's snuck in there. There's like a real funny laugh that she does as well. So when you listen, if you listen to again, go back and rewind and listen to the last two choruses. There's a funny little ha that Christina puts in there. Interesting intro, right? So that's where kind of some other elements come in that aren't there. So we have the drums, no vocal, that little guitar, the wah guitar, and the electric guitar are in there. A couple things that are interesting. That's the only time that I have sort of that ding-a-ding. It might be in there also. Again, perceived, you know, you're going to miss things, get things, but that's then my map and thinking about Christina Aguilera's Ain't No Other Man. I encourage you to go give it one more listen all the way through and just concentrate on it and see if you appreciate it. Let me know if you disagree or agree as far as a pop production that's pretty hot.